Growling, Gabriel quickly tugged Inya behind him and assumed a fighting stance. Levi laughed mockingly at the sight. "Huh, you think you, a mere pyre lord, can defend yourself against me?" Jing? Inya called out from behind Gabriel. She couldn't believe the woman who called herself a friend and invited her on this excursion would let this happen, but Jing's silence told her all she needed to know. "Levi, stop!" Quinn shouted as Levi walked over to block the only way out of the cave. "You don't need to kill them. Let's just have them promise to keep quiet about the veins." "That's naive of you, Quinn." Jing finally spoke. "I don't think you understand just how important this is. The moment anyone discovers the veins, they'll swarm from beyond Valandra. Even the Academy will come for it. And I know none of our clans would survive against them. If we keep the knowledge between our 3 clans, we might be able to come to an agreement about harvesting the veins. As much as I hate to do this, it's too risky to let Inya and Gabriel leave this cave. We won't tell anyone, I promise." Inya appealed desperately to her friend, but Jing ignored her, and just like Levi, she began to call upon her powers. It gathered menacingly in bright red static electricity at her fingertips. Gabriel heard Inya let out a pained gasp behind him. He understood firsthand how it felt to be betrayed by someone who should have cared for you. His heart went out to her. "Do I have your permission to do anything to get us out of here safely?" he whispered urgently. There was a momentary pause before she replied unwaveringly. "Yes." The next moment, Levi and Jing launched their simultaneous attacks, ignoring Quinn's cries for them to stop. Gabriel mustered all his powers to throw up a protective barrier around himself and Inya just as the blasts hit them. He cursed aloud as he endured their constant barrage of attacks, sweat pouring down the side of his face. Even with Inya's infusion of her Sun Saint powers into his shield, they wouldn't last much longer. The pair's fighting style was crude, a mere display of power that their resources afforded them. It was common for richer clan folk with superior sun-blessed abilities to merely overpower their opponents and wait for the others' powers to give out. Their fighting style had no skill or nuance, unlike the lesser clans who had to grapple with each other in their evenly matched skirmishes. "When I tell you, let the barrier down," he said through gritted teeth. Inya glanced at him, worry etched across her features. "Are you sure?" she questioned hesitatingly. "I know we just met, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you more," Gabriel assured her. "Trust me, I'm sure." Despite their dire circumstance, Inya let out a huff of laughter. "Okay, tell me when." Gabriel focused his energies on watching Jing and Levi closely. The moment he found the tiniest break in their attacks, he yelled, "Now!" Inya pulled back her powers, and their shield dissipated. He unleashed Skypiercer from hiding with inhumane speed, sending the sword hurtling through the air toward Jing and Levi. The sword sliced them across their necks and flew back into Gabriel's grip. "Sword wielder," Levi stammered in shock as blood spurted from his neck wound. His eyes bulged at the revelation that Gabriel possessed the rare skill. "How?" he managed before he fell as a lifeless heap onto the ground. Jing gaped at Inya with a look of pure betrayal. Blood seeped between her fingers, clutching at the fatal wound in her neck. Then she collapsed, the light leaving her eyes. Gabriel turned to the remaining heir whose face was as white as a sheet. He considered what to do with Quinn Saxon. On the one hand, he knew that he would be persecuted if news of him being a sword wielder got out. On the other, she wasn't malicious. She had tried to stop Jing and Levi from killing them. "Do you promise to keep this a secret?" He gestured at his gleaming sword. She nodded once, putting on a brave front despite her precarious situation. "I won't tell a soul." "Neither will I." Inya chimed in from beside him. "I know," he said to her lightly. "But what are we going to do about Jing and Levi?" Inya asked nervously, looking at their lifeless bodies on the ground. There was no way the Riker and Zahori clans were going to let the deaths of their heirs go. "I'll tell their families that they were killed by demons dwelling in the cave," Quinn offered. "I know from experience that if you didn't kill them, they would have killed you." Quinn looked regretful as she recalled past events. "But Gabriel," she continued, Their families might not let this go so easily. I have the backing of my family, and Inya has the backing of Mistress Faye at the Southern Academy. Like it or not, the Yamato clan doesn't have much power or military might. The Riker and Zahori clans might come after you in retaliation. She's right, Inya added thoughtfully. Is there any way you can gain access to the Academy? Having their support might make them think twice before going after you, or your clan. Gabriel's face fell. Master Diva of Southern Academy retracted my offer of acceptance. A heavy silence hung in the air. Let's harvest this cavern and look for that vein, Gabriel suggested, breaking the silence. There's not much else we can do for now. Inya used her powers to draw up the gold crystals from the ground, collecting them in the middle of the cavern to split equally between themselves. It was the most valuable haul Gabriel could have ever imagined. He grew cautiously hopeful at the prospect of bringing the Yamato clan to greatness. Onward? Gabriel asked the others once they had secured the crystals safely in their rings. Inya and Quinn nodded in agreement, and he took the lead further into the cave. The corridor grew narrower the deeper they traveled. Suddenly, he had a strong sense that there was something beneath them. Stand back, he warned his companions. He retrieved his sword and plunged it into the ground. It created a deep crack that revealed a river of white rushing water. It's a spirit crystal vein, Quinn exclaimed, confirming Gabriel's suspicions. He'd never seen one in real life before, only having read descriptions of them in the low-grade training manuals they had in the Yamato clan library. How do we divide it? Gabriel asked. You can't really, Quinn told him. But I have a proposal. Inya turned to her, brows creasing in suspicion. What are you thinking? I mean no offense when I say this, but the Yamato clan and the Nala tribe are in no position to defend a crystal vein. Once other factions find out, they'll stop at nothing to get it, even if it means wiping out your people. Out of the three of us, only the Saxon clan has the military strength to protect the vein. We have one already. She paused, gauging Gabriel and Inya's reaction to her words. Gabriel weighed Quinn's words. She wasn't wrong. The Yamato clan couldn't guard a crystal vein against others who would come for it. As it stood, their army couldn't handle much more than their border skirmishes. If two clans decided to attack them on the same day, they would be wiped out. Looking over at Inya, he saw that she was thinking the same about her tribe. Keep going. Inya nodded to her. I propose that you let me have the crystal vein in exchange for all the crystals I have on me, and 3 Earth-grade training manuals, Quinn finished. What do you think? Gabriel looked at Inya questioningly. She bit her lip, frowning as she considered the proposal. Gabriel had to admit that the Earth-grade training manuals were a huge draw for him. They were expensive and hard to come by. He'd only ever practiced using the lower-grade mortal, spirit, and lord-grade manuals that the clan had. If he obtained these higher-grade resources, the sun-blessed abilities of his clan would improve exponentially. Finally, Inya spoke. I'm amenable if Gabriel is. She turned to look at her betrothed. You can have the Earth-grade manuals. I've had access to a few from my teacher. Gabriel's heart swelled at her generosity. Thank you, Inya. He replied gracefully before addressing Quinn. I have a counter-proposal. You can keep this crystal vein in exchange for all the crystals and the 3 Earth-grade manuals you have on you. But if we find any other veins, they're ours, and you won't tell a soul that we have them, just like we'll be quiet about this vein of yours. Deal. Quinn readily agreed. She was pleased enough to have obtained another crystal vein for the Saxon clan, and she truly didn't mind if Gabriel and Inya kept another. This is where she and the other clan heirs never saw eye to eye. While they were determined to hoard all the resources for their clans to ensure they stayed far ahead of the others, Quinn believed in a more equal distribution of resources. Go ahead and harvest it, Quinn, Inya encouraged. Quinn waved her hand across the crack in the rock beneath them and extracted the vein of rushing water from the ground. She guided it into her treasury ring, which trembled with the sheer energy of the vein. When it was finally secured, Quinn withdrew all her crystals and the training manuals, handing them over to her 2 companions. The group continued on, finding more purple and gold crystals as they made their way deeper into the cave. The increasing presence of crystals hinted that they were drawing close to something big. Stop, Inya suddenly said, signaling the others to stop. She pointed to the ground beneath her. Gabriel, can you use your sword here? Gabriel obliged, summoning Skypiercer and plunging it into the ground. The rock broke away to reveal another gushing river of water that glowed green and blue. An earth crystal vein, Quinn gasped. This was even more precious than the spirit crystal vein they came upon before. Something's coming, Gabriel warned the others, hearing the sound of approaching footsteps. They braced themselves for an attack, but nothing could prepare them for the sight they saw next. A demon in the form of a dog emerged from the shadows, gnashing its sharp teeth at them. The pair of horns that sat on its head gleamed menacingly in the glow of the cave. As it drew closer, Gabriel saw that its body was covered with thick scales, and the end of its tail was shaped like the head of a spear. It's an Emperor-ranked demon, Inya hissed fearfully. What was a demon of the highest rank doing in here? Gabriel wondered fleetingly. Though humans and demons peacefully coexisted in Valandra, they mostly stayed within their own territories. Stay back! Quinn stammered out a warning at the beast. When it ignored her and continued to stalk toward them, she blasted a torrent of energy at it. Quinn's attack ricocheted off his scales. The demon roared angrily and retaliated in a flash, lashing the trio with a bolt of lightning. They cried out as the massive jolt of electricity surged through their bodies, alighting their nerves with excruciating pain. Through a haze of agony, Gabriel's gaze found Inya, her face twisted in pain and terror, and her muscles convulsed uncontrollably. With a cry of anger, Gabriel steeled his resolve. Whatever the cost, he wasn't going to let them die in this cave.